Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to Talk-A-Latte. I'm Julia Kelleher, and of course, this is Belinda DeBoard, and we are broadcasting with you live from Bend, Oregon, in my studio here at Jewel Images. And today's Talk-A-Latte is all about how to handle and get rid of super challenging clients, those clients that maybe you just don't want to work with again, that really posed a problem. I'm not talking necessarily clients that, you just had, I guess what I'm saying is one of the students in the Facebook group suggested or questioned what a high maintenance client was. And I thought that was a really good question because high maintenance may have not have been the best word. What I really meant was like clients who pose a strong challenge to you, clients you don't really want to work with. I mean, clients who, present a problem to you. So that's really what I was talking about more than clients who just demand a lot. There's a difference between a client who demands a lot, and then those who are actually like downright obstinate and mean.
Challenging all your policies, being mean, those kind of things.
Exactly. So I'm talking about clients who you don't want to work with again. We're talking clients who are mean, spiteful, they are just out to get a deal, that kind of thing. Welcome, Idel, Angela. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it so very much. Again, go ahead and chat in the chat box if you like. I'm going to go ahead and share our screen so you can see my keynotes that I've presented for you a little bit. So I've got to switch back and forth to stuff, so forgive me if, is that right? No, that's right there. There we go. Okay. So here we go. Today is Talk-A-Latte is all about those high maintenance clients. So how to say goodbye to really, really, really challenging people whom honestly you don't want to work with again. Okay, so again, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you would like to see more Talk-A-Lattes in the future. We discuss business topics every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific. Business topics pertaining to portrait photography and having a studio and running it successfully. So go ahead and subscribe. Of course, during the live streaming, you can post your questions here and we will do our best to answer them as we go. And the whole point of Talk-A-Latte is to talk until our coffee gets cold. So look for upcoming events on Google+, as well as subscribing to our YouTube page, or you can head to our live events page, which is now officially online, Talk-A-Latte.tv. You can see the live broadcast there, as well as watch the archives on the Talk-A-Latte.tv blog. We will have weekly summaries that are written and the archives, as well as the streaming download there. So if you miss Talk-A-Lattes, you can always go to Talk-A-Latte.tv and see past events there. So how to say goodbye to those high maintenance clients. The first thing you need to really determine is, are they really fire worthy? I mean, is it worth it to burn that bridge and let go of them? So you need to assess your working relationship with a client. Are they good people? I mean, are they kind? Do they treat you with respect? Are they easy to talk to? Are they easy to converse with? What is your, deep down, what does your gut say? I mean, you have a pretty good inclination, Belinda. You know when what tells you when a client is what sets off those alarm bells in your head?
Well, I think from the get-go, people that question the process or the policies, well, do I really have to come in for my ordering appointment? Or, well, can I just, I really just need more time to look at them, or, they're constantly pushing against your policies and your processes.
And sometimes in a not very nice way.
And sometimes not very nice, yeah.
Or in a passive aggressive kind of way.
Because you can kind of tell when people are asking questions because they just don't know and they need to be educated, and when they're asking questions because they want an exception.
Yes.
And the exception ones are when red flags go off.
And the alarm bells start ringing in your head. I agree. So sometimes from the start. We usually know from the start.
We usually know from that pre-concert consult call. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're never really sure.
Not really sure.
You're never really totally sure that that client is one you want to avoid. And so you start working with them and then you realize, oh my gosh. And sometimes you just want to get out from under it so badly and so quickly. And why is it that things go wrong with those clients? Like, I don't know why it is that when that kind of client comes into your studio, we have
it seems like everything falls apart.
Totally.
Everything that could go wrong with their session and their order goes wrong.
Yeah. And it's like, so you don't want it to happen.
No, but not on purpose. That's for sure.
It's so frustrating, but it does happen. So really assess whether they're fire worthy. Are they combative with you? Are they just out to get something? Are they trying to make more exceptions because they think that they're, quote, special? Are they basically taking advantage of their customer status? You know, like, I'm a customer's always right. Do they have that kind of mentality? And we've had a few of those. Most definitely.
Yep.
Okay. Secondly, what happened while working with you? Before you cut ties, revisit the facts and try to be as unemotional about this as possible. So go through each step of your contact with them. Write down what occurred. Like, literally keep a lawyer's record of everything that happened with that client. Not necessarily for, legal sake. I'm not talking that. I'm just saying really know what happened and assess both sides before you cut the ties. Mm-hmm. Ask yourself why the problem occurred. In our studio, usually what happens? Like, why do problems occur? I mean, sometimes it's just downright mean people. Yeah. It's rare.
Yeah.
But sometimes the problem is on our end, right?
I think most of it's communication. Like, if we don't properly prepare the client for the right expectations, or if we're feeling like on the back end, if we're feeling rushed, and we think that we double checked something and didn't, or whatnot.
I agree 100% that's usually the most common issue. What about, like, hang on here, I'm trying to get back to my looking at stuff. Oh, how did I do that? There we go. I guess what I'm saying is just try to be objective as you can. Take emotion away from the situation. Yep. If you work with an assistant or somebody, be willing to ask them, like, hey, what did we do wrong? Because sometimes different people see it in different ways.
You want to create a detailed timeline, almost like a script of your interaction with them.
Yes. And that will help you see it in a more objective way.
Right.
And once you've done that, try to see everything from their point of view. I mean, we've all been customers in negative situations. I mean, I'm sure that you have been a customer of a retail outlet of some kind of business and something went wrong. So you remember what that feels like when you were disappointed or unhappy, right? Like, just this week we were in Seattle and we stayed in a hotel, and it was a really nice hotel, and it was a 4-star hotel, and I paid a lot of money for us to stay overnight in this hotel, and it just wasn't comfortable. It was really noisy. The room kind of stinked a little bit, and I complained downstairs, not really expecting much, but just hoping to get some kind of empathy. And the girl was just, she just had excuses. It was just excuses, and there was nothing. She didn't really put herself in our shoes, I think. And it's hard as a customer because the minute you complain, like, people get on the defensive, and you as an owner of a business get on the defensive, and you want to, we didn't do anything. It's hard to hear criticism, I guess is what I'm saying. But you really have to humble yourself and see it from their point of view. What were their starting expectations? What did you promise them that perhaps you didn't deliver on? How did they see it? What was their experience like each step of the way? And was it what they had hoped for and what you want to produce and put out there? Did you deliver what you said you would? Why did they complain or get upset? What was missing? Why did they really get upset? Sometimes, people say things on the surface, but really there's a deeper reason behind why they're upset or angry, and it may have nothing to do with you. And ask yourself if a simple fix and just kind of swallowing your humble pill could help. Because if that's the case, you can often repair a relationship really easily without firing a client. And I always suggest doing that before you do anything. Like, try to fix it before you just fire a client. You really have to be, I guess what I'm saying is, you have to be at the end of your rope, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. jump in here, Belinda, if you want to make any other points.
Okay.
And then ask yourself where you fell short. It's really hard to admit your own flaws, but you must, because you have to fix it for the future if you did screw up that badly. Did you communicate everything you were supposed to? Were you unavailable? Did you procrastinate on something? Oh, been there, done that, got that t-shirt.
I'm the queen.
Did you make mistakes and not own up? Or are you simply overreacting? I mean, be willing to be objective. In other words, guys, if it's time to cut the ties and you really feel like, yeah, this client is challenging, I don't want to work with them again, you need to do so very carefully and very respectfully. You don't want to burn a bridge so badly that you end up getting bad reviews from a client, having them talk trash about you around town, that kind of thing. Always be the consummate professional. Always, always, always. And sometimes it's so dang hard. How many times do we fire a client every year?
I can only think of one that we've really fired. There was one we wanted to, but then they ended up being not so bad.
Yeah. I mean, really maybe twice in 5 years have I formally fired.
Told them it probably isn't best to work with you again.
Yeah. I mean, so rare. So I guess my point in saying that is you have to be really sure that the client is someone you don't want. And if you are going to fire a client officially, I often recommend fully refunding them. And I know that's hard, even if they did get all their product from you and delivery and all this hard work. You just don't want them to have any recourse. You know what I mean? You just don't want them to have a way to say mean things about you. If you give them a full refund and say, hey, I'm sorry, it wasn't a great relationship, we should cut the ties, here's your money back, then there's nothing really that they can say or do. You know what I mean? It's like it makes it very in their favor, I guess is what I'm saying. So how do you do it? How do you fire a client? Okay. That's the big question. And that's the question I get a lot from a lot of photographers. If the client emails you all the time and that's how you communicate, then I would use email. If the client likes to call you and talk on the phone, then I would most certainly use the phone. Give in to their style of communication. Craft your response in writing. And today's freebie on Talk-A-Latte is 2 swipe file emails that help you, quote, develop some language to, quote, fire, end quote, a client. That was a lot of quotes. So, but I warn you to use them with caution. Use at your own risk, the swipe files. Don't use word for word, please. Some of them are a little bit long and a little bit repetitive. And so just pull things out of it. I don't really expect you to use the whole email in one fell swoop. Just pull sentences from it that can be useful. You really want to try to keep your words short but kind. I mean, don't belabor the issue too much and talk off, keep repeating yourself. And these emails definitely have some repetition in them. So just be wary of that. But that is today's freebie. You can find the freebie on talkalatte.tv/episode 12. That's where the free download is. talkalatte.tv/episode 12. Fill out the form, give us your email, and we will send you the freebie of those email swipe files. So again, craft your response in writing. And don't necessarily belabor the problem. Obviously, there's been issues, there's been problems. The client knows it, you know it. Just get on with it. Don't blame the client no matter what you do. Don't blame the client. That is don't get combative, I guess is what I'm saying. When you craft your response, sit on it for 24 hours and let someone else read it before you send it out. That's just key because your emotions are involved. And if you send things out too quickly or without sitting on it or without letting someone else review it, you're going to maybe regret what you put in there. Make the break to their benefit. Talk about how it will be better for them to find someone else. It's kind of like breaking up with somebody. It's so hard to break up with someone, break up with a guy. Back when I was dating, I was always hated breaking up with a guy, right? I mean, that was just torture to break up with somebody. And you just kind of wanted to avoid them and just not call them, and disappear. And that's what most people do. But really the respectful thing to do is just to be honest, forthright, cut the ties, but do it, how, well, I don't know how everybody does it.
It's not you, it's me.
Exactly. It's not you, it's me. Exactly. That kind of feeling. So much of business is relationships.
Yeah.
And I think we can relate this, almost anything in business, to dating. And I think that's how people really understand it and can, break it down. So that's kind of why I use the analogy of dating. But and then I always tell people to take the fall. I mean, don't apologize profusely. You don't want to be like, I'm so sorry. You don't want to be a doormat. But at the same time, you do want to accept responsibility for your actions, and be kind. And then definitely recommend somebody else that they could use in your town. And if they're like, don't be mean. If they're a horrible client and I wouldn't wish that kind of evil on any of my colleagues here in town. So be careful who you recommend. And there are times to recommend and times to not. So just be wary of that. But the best thing is to just be professional, treat it like a relationship, and be kind, and break up with them the way you would want to be broken up with. I think it was what it really comes down to. But so often, especially as women, tend to over apologize. I mean, I'm the queen of that. I over apologize for everything, and that makes you look a little unprofessional and weak. And so be wary of that, of apologizing too much and being too wordy. Just keep it simple, clean, and cut the tie. So again, to download the freebie, The Words That Cut the Ties, a swipe file, go to talkalatte.tv, episode 12, to get the free download. And from here, this is really, it's a short Talk-A-Latte today, but I think it's good to keep a couple short, because then you guys know you can come watch these, consume some information, get some helpful tips on things, and then move on with your day. And that was really the point of Talk-A-Latte. So from here, I would like to take questions. We have
stop screen sharing.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. Stop screen sharing so everybody can see our happy mugs. And we will take questions about this kind of thing, because I know it's an important topic and hard for folks to really do. Okay, so Angela has a question. The most scary thing when firing a client is the negative things they will say about you to other feasible clients. Is there a way to minimize that problem? I think we touched on that briefly, but one of the things is to make sure they have no recourse and to give them a full refund. And I know that's, oh my gosh, I know that's so hard to swallow. Like, the thought of giving someone like a $1,200 or $1,300 refund, makes you want to cringe. But if you do that, you are doing everything in your power to soften the blow and make it so that they really can't say anything bad. Just think about, put yourself in the same position if you were a customer. If you had that hotel, if they had refunded my money, I wouldn't be complaining at all, right?
Yeah.
And I know that's a big step.
Or at least did something, at least a discount or some kind of explanation as to why it might have been that way, versus oh, I'm really sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
And then
that was all she said. Exactly.
Yeah.
If she had, knocked $100 off the room or given us a discount of some kind, I would have been like, okay, they did provide their services. It just wasn't as comfortable as it could have been. And so they compensated me for that. I hate to say it, but money talks. It really does. Or like a free stay.
Right.
Perhaps they had given us a free stay in the future or something like that. And if this is a high maintenance client that you want to fire, clearly you don't want to give them a session in the future.
Yeah, you don't want them to come back.
You're like, I don't want to work with you again. So something to consider. But oftentimes giving them a partial refund or a full refund is sometimes the best way to not have them post negative reviews about you, et cetera, et cetera. But again, being kind and just taking the fall, but in a respectful way that doesn't make you look like a doormat, but also in a way that seems just, hey, I know we did it wrong. I know you're not happy. It kills us that you're not happy. We want to make you happy. We would love to try to do that. But we also think that perhaps the relationship isn't a fruitful one, and that, in the future, we can help you find someone else to work with whom you would connect with better.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it comes down to. Okay. Peekaboo, yes. But sometimes they just get annoying once you show them the images. Do you still give them their money back? Well, and that's where that first factor comes into play is, are they really fire worthy? We have some super high maintenance clients who are just annoying, and we work with them because they're good clients. They spend money. They love the images. They love what we do. They're just a little challenging to work with. And sometimes those people, we just spend the 4-week process of working with them and and buck it up and do it.
Good deal. Yeah.
You have to consider it's better than having like a corporate job where you have a horrible boss for 6 years. Instead, you've only got these people for 4 to 6 weeks and then they're gone. So, and some of those quote annoying people can be some of your best referring clients. So really assess whether someone is fire worthy before you just cut the ties.
Yeah.
Okay. Angela said, giving them their money back is a great way to avoid them saying bad things, but their moment to photograph their newborn as such has gone, so they will be very upset. I'm not sure if I understand the question.
I think she's referring to like, then you can't do a reshoot.
A reshoot.
Like if they want,
if they
try and fix the
if
problem.
they don't like the images. And that's a scary situation. And honestly, I would just try to reshoot even if the baby was older. Or offer them a future session for free to make up for it, that kind of thing. Yeah. And we have had clients who...
Yeah, and I think two points in that is, one, that shows the importance of having a quick turnaround. You know, if you're behind on sessions and you're 4 to 6 weeks out before they even see the images, and then they have to go home and think about it, and then come back, yeah, your window's gone.
Yeah.
But if you have a fast turnaround, then that can sometimes avoid that
Excellent
issue
point.
too. But that, you know, you can assess that. A third point that I didn't think of originally, but to assess yourself in the session, like make sure that you're getting your images in the session.
Yes, I agree 100%.
Even if they don't like them, you know that you have enough fodder to
provide what you promised you would deliver.
Right.
Exactly. Okay, Adele asks, question. Hello, Adele. How are you, my dear? Can you also include high maintenance friends and family members and how to handle them? They seem so entitled to deals or free stuff because they are, quote, connected to us photogs. Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, friends and family, challenging. I usually provide like a gift card. For example, say a $300 gift card to family members as a way for them to use our services. So in other words, it looks like I'm giving them a gift, but I'm not necessarily giving them the entire thing, and they have to pay for the rest. You know, and if
a lot of times it's your gift of time.
Yes.
And then the products are still on their shoulders.
Because that's what I have to pay for.
Right.
You know what I mean? But most friends and family do get it that you're running a business, and it has to be a viable, profitable business. So, you know, and the time you spend with them is time you are not spending with another paying client. And I will literally say that to family and friends sometimes, like, you know, I'd love to fit you in, and I wish I could do it for free, but our schedule is really booked right now. And these are all paying clients who want to get in with us. And so while I can offer you a gift card and a discount, but I can't do everything fully for free, because then that sacrifices sessions I could be using for paying clients that, you know, help us as a family make a living.
Right.
And those are the kind of words you use, if that makes sense. I hope that helps, Idel. Okay. Thank you, Beth. Good morning, my dear.
Get to the site.
Okay, website doesn't seem to work. Oh, weird.
Education site. Oh.
Yes, Beth is right. You can go to the Jewel Education site, then click Talk-A-Latte TV. I will.
The menu item. Yeah.
The menu item on there, definitely. I will check the link, talkalatte.tv. Make sure you're spelling it right. You know, talk, the letter A, and then latte, L-A-T-T-E.
All one word.
All one word, talkalatte.tv.
Yeah.
Not .com.
Yeah.
Remember that, .tv. And that it should work. It was live this morning. So if not, just go to jewel-education.com and you can find it there. Okay. Let's see. Timish. How often do you bump into one of these high maintenance difficult clients? Not very often. Once a year at the most, more like once every other year, I would say, is when we really get somebody where I'm like, yeah, we're not going to work with them again. And sometimes I don't even officially fire them. Like sometimes we don't even officially.
It's kind of just a mutual thing. Like they just don't ever call and we don't bug them.
Yeah, and I tell her, if they call, tell them we're booked. That kind of thing. And sometimes we really are booked, but then, you know, you definitely learn your clients over time, the repeat ones, and you know who you like and who you don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Molly.
Okay, Ellie Bell, I had to go through the education site.
The Talk-A-Latte.tv goes
Go to a generic site. Oh, weird. Okay, I will fix those links, guys. It literally just went live yesterday, so I apologize if it's not quite working. We will fix it and make sure that it's all operating and successful. Okay, is that it? We have a
in terms of friends and family, like giving them discounts and stuff, would you do that just towards digitals or towards session fee or products? Like, what do you think is best?
Oh, I don't know. I think it depends on your situation. And it depends on your business model. If your business model is one where you're doing, prints and products, then do it towards that. I often, maybe I'm over generous, but like with your friend and family, and getting a family shoot is kind of a perk of the job. So I just photograph for a family and then give you guys the digitals, and that's when you usually edit them.
Yeah,
you're the one who has to edit them. But in another situation, I would. Like if my best friend in town wanted a session, I'd probably just shoot her family and then give her the files, because I tend to be a little over giving, I think. But and honestly, what matters too, guys, is when your business gets to a really viable point and your friends and families, they know that you're making money off your business, they tend to stop asking quite as much,
right?
Because they know that you're busy and that you are running a business and that you are making money, and they start to respect what you're doing a little bit more. So keep that in mind. And I think when you're first starting out or you have a lot of time on your hands, one of the ways to tell people is just to be blunt and say, hey, I have a business and it operates, and while I would love to help you and provide things for free, I just can't right now, and my portfolio is built and we're really working hard to build a steady stream of paying clientele. So I can offer you a discount or a gift card, but that's about as far as we can take it. So okay,
people are talking about this site.
Okay, awesome. Okay, well then it looks like that's Talk-A-Latte.tv and oh, weird, Blair. Oh, we're gonna fix that. I am so sorry. Oh, maybe that's because I didn't make it live yet. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. I will make that live right away. That was my fault. Frustrating. Okay. Whoops. My bad. We will take care of that right after this episode, and make sure Talk-A-Latte.tv goes live. So bookmark it on your browser so you can come check in. And of course, the Facebook group, we will always post Talk-A-Lattes. And sometimes when I'm on vacation or whatnot, or we have a holiday break, we will skip a week. So just keep that in mind. But the whole point is to try to do these every week to give you little business ideas and topics and hints on things, and just kind of help you through those challenging things that every business owner and entrepreneur faces, especially in the portrait photography world. So, okay, you guys, I hope that helps you out today. My coffee's not cold, but kind of lukewarm. But again, keeping it short today so that folks can get digestible content and watch it quickly and easily and then get about their day. So anyway, that's Talk-A-Latte TV. We thank you so much for watching, and we'll hope to see you next week. Bye-bye, everyone.